There are moments in boxing history when a fight transcends mere competition and becomes a defining chapter in the legacy of one or both fighters. On July 25, 2023, at the Ariake Arena in Tokyo, Japan, one such moment unfolded. The fight between Naoya Inoue, widely known as the Monster, and Stephen "Coolboy" Steph Fulton was not only a clash of elite champions, but also a cultural and competitive collision that stirred intense anticipation in the boxing world. It was a battle between an ascending legend from Japan and a confident, undefeated American star determined to prove his superiority. The tension, the narratives, and the stakes combined to make this fight a global spectacle. Naoya Inoue, coming off a spectacular reign in the bantamweight division, had become known for his brutal knockouts and surgical dismantling of opponents. With a calm demeanor and explosive power, he captivated fans around the world and quickly earned a reputation as one of the most dangerous pound-for-pound fighters alive. His transition to the super bantamweight division was met with questions. How would his power translate against larger men? Could he dominate a heavier division with the same effectiveness? These questions found their ultimate test in his matchup. Against Stephen Fulton, a proud Philadelphia native, had carved his own impressive path in the sport. As the unified WBC and WBO super bantamweight champion, he was lauded for his slick boxing skills, ring generalship, and undefeated record. Fulton wasn't just winning fights, he was outboxing top-tier opponents with style and confidence. Known for his ability to adapt and control tempo, he brought an aura of self-belief that many fighters lacked when facing someone of Inoue's caliber. From the moment the fight was announced, the energy around it was electric. Fans, pundits, and fellow fighters debated whether Inoue could maintain his dominance or whether Fulton would prove too skilled, too smart, and too big. Fulton, never one to shy away from expressing his confidence, added fuel to the fire in the pre-fight buildup. He took several verbal jabs at Inoue, dismissing the hype surrounding him. He argued that Inoue's popularity stemmed more from his nationality than his actual skill set. The hype is around him because he's Japanese and doing these things, Fulton said, downplaying the legitimacy of Inoue's status. He added, "Power doesn't just win fights, I'm smart. How do you think I got here?" He wasn't just confident, he was defiant. He believed he could outthink and outbox the Japanese powerhouse, and he made that belief public with the kind of swagger that boxing loves and fans either admire or detest. Leading up to the fight, tensions boiled. During press conferences and face-offs, both men remained composed, but the intensity was undeniable. Fulton stared into Inoue's eyes during the final face-off, whispering words meant to shake the unshakable. Though Inoue rarely showed emotion, it was clear this fight had a different weight to it. The two had to be separated at the weigh-in, and the sense of impending drama only intensified. Fans across time zones tuned in, understanding this wasn't just another title fight. It was a battle for legitimacy, legacy, and pride. When the bell finally rang on fight night, the opening round showcased the unique blend of skill, respect, and cautious aggression both fighters brought. Fulton tried to assert himself early, looking to use his superior size and reach to keep Inoue at bay. He moved gracefully, probed with jabs, and sought to establish distance. But Inoue's timing was immediately apparent. He slipped shots by inches, cutting angles with quiet efficiency. Within the opening rounds, it became clear this wasn't going to be an easy night for Fulton. By the second round, Inoue began to increase his tempo. He wasn't just reacting, he was initiating. His combinations started flowing, and the power behind his punches forced Fulton to rethink his approach. The Philadelphian, once so confident, found himself backing up, circling the ring, trying to regroup. Inoue pressed forward, sensing the shifts in momentum and capitalizing on them. Each exchange began to reveal the widening gap between the two fighters. While Fulton remained composed, the cracks in his strategy began to show. Inoue's relentless pressure was more sophisticated than brute force. He was reading his opponent, adjusting rhythm, and landing punches with surgical precision. The third and fourth rounds turned the bout into a technical chess match, but one in which Inoue controlled the board. Fulton tried to land counters and combinations, but his punches lacked the sting needed to deter Inoue. The Japanese fighter, on the other hand, was accurate, fast, and devastating. He slipped shots with head movement and responded with hooks and crosses that shook Fulton's balance. What stood out was Inoue's timing. He was always a half step ahead. As Fulton tried to increase his output, Inoue remained elusive, always in range to strike but rarely allowing himself to be hit clean. By the fifth round, the tide had turned definitively. Inoue was now in full control. His confidence had turned into dominance, and Fulton's retreat became more apparent. He moved along the ropes trying to avoid the onslaught, but Inoue cut off the ring with precision. He landed punishing body shots that sapped Fulton's energy and kept him guessing upstairs. The psychological toll began to mount. Fulton, known for his composure, now showed visible signs of discomfort. Inoue wasn't just winning rounds, he was breaking his opponent down both physically and mentally. The sixth round was where the fight reached its climax. Inoue, sensing that the end was near, intensified his attack. He opened the round with a blistering combination that backed Fulton into the ropes. Then came the right hand, a thunderous shot that sent Fulton to the canvas for the first time in his career. The crowd erupted, the arena shook, and the boxing world witnessed a moment of undeniable greatness. Fulton got up, displaying the heart of a champion, but the damage had been done. Inoue, calm and calculating, resumed his assault with ruthless efficiency. Another sequence of precise, explosive punches forced the referee to intervene, halting the bout to prevent further punishment. It was a definitive, emphatic victory for Inoue. The aftermath was just as telling as the fight itself. Fulton, who had come in with bravado and belief, left humbled. In interviews after the bout, he acknowledged Inoue's ring intelligence and ability to adapt. His ring IQ was good, Fulton said, a simple yet telling admission from a fighter who had seen it all in the ring. The defeat marked a turning point in Fulton's career, but it wasn't the end. In a testament to his resilience, Fulton bounced back and later captured the WBC featherweight title by defeating Brandon Figueroa. His rebound proved that he was still an elite fighter, but it also reinforced just how special Inoue's performance had been. For Naoya Inoue, the victory elevated him to an entirely new tier of greatness. With the win, he became a four-division world champion. His destruction of Fulton, a fighter widely regarded as one of the best in his division, silenced the skeptics who questioned whether Inoue's power and skill would translate to higher weight classes. It was not just a victory, it was a statement. Inoue wasn't just moving up in weight. He was dismantling the best available competition and making it look routine. Following the Fulton fight, Inoue continued to solidify his legacy. 6 months later, he returned to action and defeated Marlon Tapeles to become the undisputed super bantamweight champion, unifying all 4 major titles. His performance was clinical, powerful, and poetic, once again proving that his reign of dominance was no accident. Inoue's blend of timing, power, footwork, and intelligence made him an almost unsolvable puzzle. Opponents knew what was coming, yet they couldn't stop it. He was no longer just a phenom from Japan. He was arguably the most dangerous boxer in the world, regardless of weight class. The impact of his rise resonated far beyond the ring. Inoue became a national icon in Japan and a global superstar among hardcore boxing fans. Analysts, former champions, and current contenders all weighed in on his performances, with many labeling him the best pound-for-pound fighter in the sport. His quiet demeanor contrasted with his violent style in the ring, creating a mystique that only deepened his appeal. Despite the brutality of his victories, Inoue remained respectful, humble, and focused, attributes that earned him admiration from fans and fellow fighters alike. The debate around who could potentially challenge Inoue became one of boxing's hottest topics. Some speculated that a move up to featherweight at 126 pounds could provide new threats. Others wondered if any of the current champions in that division possessed the combination of speed, strength, and strategy required to handle Inoue's relentless attack. What was clear, however, was that the bar had been raised. Anyone hoping to dethrone Inoue would need more than just talent. They would need the heart, intelligence, and durability to survive his calculated chaos. Looking back, the bout with Stephen Fulton was more than just another title fight. It was a moment of truth, a test of Inoue's greatness and a showcase of what happens when preparation meets opportunity. In a sport often defined by trash talk, politics, and hype, Inoue delivered something rare, pure, undeniable excellence. And as he continues his journey, the boxing world watches in awe, wondering who, if anyone, can stop the monster.